Hey y'all, we're back with another episode of Haute, Paire. I'm Jazz.
And I'm Tav.
And we have two special guests with us this time. We have Mr. Reese and Mr. Otis. Cameras.
Hello, yes.
So we wanted to do something a little bit different this episode, right? A lot different?
Right.
There's a reason why we have two guys here with us. We kind of want to talk about dating this episode.
Dating as a millennial.
Yes, dating as a millennial. It's not, I feel like things have changed now, so they kind of need to be addressed, right? A few changes. So we're going to dive in like Trey Songz. Dive in. Y'all gonna let me be great, okay? So, I feel like the most basic question is, what's everybody's relationship status? Are you single? You in a relationship? Tabari?
In a relationship.
Okay. Otis?
I'm in a relationship sometimes.
Sometimes. We're going to come back to that.
I'm single.
You single? Like a dollar bill?
I like a dollar
That's
bill.
right. And I am not in an exclusive relationship.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best way to say it, right? Because until you define
I
it.
guess that'd be better for me.
Then you're dating. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm just not dating exclusive.
Testing the waters.
You're leasing in hopes to buy.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Coin that
I'm just saying.
hashtag leasing and hopes to buy. For those of you who are, Tavari, since you're in a relationship, how did you meet your significant other?
Actually online.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How'd that happen?
I was, I guess, coerced
Swipe,
by
swibbity swipe.
No, man. Somebody was like, hey, girl, join this online thing, see if you have any luck. So I was just like, okay, let me join it and see if I have any luck. And after, the whole weeding process, there he was, and here I am.
And there goes my bee.
Bye, Jess.
So for those, come on, exactly. For those of us who are single or not exclusively dating anyone, how did you meet your most recent ex? Gentlemen?
Most recent ex. Well, my most recent ex is my baby mama.
Oh. We know how to end it.
Well, in my case, it's a little different. I'm a musician. I'm an artist, so kind of started. She sings, and it started off with us, working on music at first, and
Mixing business with
Things
pleasure,
got
right?
just a little,
I feel like this is a 1950s movie.
Just keep it real. Just keep wanting. We started off as friends.
Gotcha.
We was friends, but it was really the music that brought us together, and then on top of course, of certain physical attractions, which eventually led into emotional, and
right.
Then here I am.
Look at you.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Reese?
Because I'm fresh out of a relationship, my most recent ex was my Lyft driver one day.
What?
Yes!
Well,
That's a story I have to hear. Listen, please. We got time. Come on.
So, I play for the other team.
No, you can't say it like
The
that.
other
You are
team,
proud,
I'm
openly
very, very,
gay
very proud.
male. Go
That's
ahead.
If that's what you want to call it.
Proud gay black man.
So no, I work in public health, so I'm oftentimes in between buildings, and so you can see who your Lyft driver is when you request them.
Right.
So I was like, oh, screenshot sent to me.
Thoughts.
And conversation. My friends, they were telling me this, that, and the other. So the ride went on. I don't know how to approach nobody. I don't know when nobody's trying to approach me. It's always really awkward.
He can't flirt.
At all. And I'm always so shamed when it turns bad, too. And so, I got out the car, and there's a dating app called Jacked, and I opened Jack, and I saw him on there. And then I was like, oh.
Bless.
Oh, okay.
Come on,
So,
vicinity.
So it's Jack just for...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Grindr, but better.
Yeah. It's
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the
So I've
black
heard.
people grind.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you know about it?
I watch SVU. They talk about all this stuff. Y'all, I'm telling you, SVU, they talk about everything. So I actually met my most recent ex on an app, too. We met on Tinder. And, it was one of those.
Swipe right.
Yeah.
Swipe.
swipe right and got to talking and had a few things in common, and let's meet at a coffee shop and feel it out. And yeah, I actually
How you like your coffee?
with cream and sugar. Flavored creamer, please. But no, I love online dating. I actually find, I mean, I'm like you. I find it, I'm not the best with flirting. I'm
not?
Well, I'm like an extroverted introvert.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does.
So I like online dating. Like, I like how it's all out there and you don't have to worry about going to approach somebody in a bar and be like, oh, I see you drinking whiskey. I drink whiskey too.
Oh, hey, you dropped your napkin. Would you like me to pick it up?
Oh, you're missing something. What? My phone number. Like, I don't know how to say, I don't know how to do stuff like that.
And
so,
if you was mine, I wouldn't let you out by yourself, baby.
So I'm not good with stuff like that in person. Online, I'm great. Like, in written, I'm freaking Shakespeare. Like, y'all got it, but just not in person.
Mm-hmm.
So, since 3 of us actually met our significant others or most recent significant others online versus in person, how do you feel how do you feel like that's made an impact on dating now? Because I feel like nowadays more people are meeting their significant others online, right?
To me, it's more of it's plenty of fish at the sea, like the POF app. Like, you literally have men or women at your disposal,
Right.
at all times a day, and you're just basically picking and choosing of who you want or who you think you're interested in.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful with that too.
That's why you do the weed out process.
I feel kind of creepy when I did it.
Really?
It's real, yeah. It's right. You were in my car the whole time. You didn't say nothing, and then you inboxed me online. It was real creepy. I probably would never
Wait,
do
is
it
that what he
again.
said?
No, but I could kind of tell.
I mean, I feel like we're that instant gratification crew, like, or generation, and
Right.
so it's like I could go to a bar, or I could go to wherever. I mean, I don't know where people pick up people in real life because I don't do that
Right.
in real life. Or I can just sit in my bed and swipe for a little while, strike up a conversation, and then meet you out somewhere. But like you said, you got to be careful because catfish.
No, I have a story about that.
Catfish, bass, flounder.
No, I have a real
Whales,
bad story
sharks.
about that. So I was online. I'm not gonna say the site, and I met this guy, and he was like, "I'm gonna take you out on a date." Go away, Jasmine. No, really, in his profile, he was like 6'4", cute, and blah blah blah. Anyway, met him in person. This dude came to like mid here, like mid waist, and I was like, "Where's the rest of you?" So no, catfish is real.
Okay, and for point of reference, Tavares 5'4".
Yes.
Yeah, so
He was like mid waist. I'm not kidding you. And I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, everybody looks all this and down, but Tavares 5'4", y'all. So
He was really
In
short.
numbers.
exactly.
I never had my experience with online. They never really just. I mean, back I was just way back.
In the early days,
Well,
okay,
I was like 19 years old at the time. You know,
when
Yeah.
you wasn't supposed to
just
be black,
you know, black, and that's why I met her. And that's why I met her. So you know, I mean, I see on photos and stuff. Like, you know what? Yeah, see, y'all have a way of taking pictures that just really fool. You know, just make a man think like, yeah,
Gotta have those angles.
I eat that snack right there.
Hey.
And you know, I
know
mean,
mine.
it was all cool. You know, we chatted up and everything. Girls coming to find out she was actually somebody that was in the hood. You know, so I was like, okay, cool, all right. You know, so we said, all right. We was like, hey, how about we go out? I went to go pick her up. Now, upon picking her up, you know, I'm never nervous when it comes down to stuff like this. Cause, you know, I'm not going to make myself look bad. But when you know, her mom opened the door, I mean, I'm like, all right, waiting
you
on
walked up
her.
to the door?
Yeah.
First day.
You walked up to the door.
Oh, man, I'm gonna tell you, that's how I do it. You know what I'm saying? So she coming down the stairs. Now, you know, I just, you know, and I noticed that she just kind of had this limp, boom, you know, come down. Now she told me earlier that she went to, hey, this is some real life stuff here. That she went to the dentist earlier in that day, you know, and I'm like, all right, you know, maybe it's medication or whatever. But it wasn't until she got on level ground to where I realized that she had one leg that was like kind of longer than the other.
Just a little bit.
just little, you know. So it was like, all right, cool, you know. So we went out to, you know, I think if I ain't mistaken, like IHOP or something like that. Now she wanted, you know, go punky and not the car. You know, she wanted to kind of hold hands and stuff. Now I'm just
On the first date?
On the first day?
yeah, on the first date.
Did she even know your last name?
Probably not.
I mean, nah, she just knew my name was Otis. So, you know, so we, you know, I mean, it was cool and all, but it just, when it came down to the whole leg thing, it was just like, man, you know, I try to be real cautious with the stuff that I was, you know, that I would say, like, you know, hey, you know, when next time we gonna kick it, you know, stuff like that.
Bye, Otis.
I mean,
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Don't judge me, okay? Anyway, yeah.
Needless to say, online dating is not for everyone.
It's not for everybody. I'll never do it again. No,
Yeah,
ever.
no. I mean, I have friends who, one of my best friends does not do well with online dating. Like, she's a girl who every Lifetime movie or every just like movie meet cute is about. She meets guys in bookstores. She meets them at the bar, and these are like decent guys. I'm like, how do you meet? She met 3 or 4 boyfriends in a bookstore.
What kind of pickup lines
That's
using?
what I want to know.
What book you reading?
I think they like bump into and knock up books out of her.
I'm sorry.
Pick them up.
I'll pick them up for you, like in the TV show.
Like, I'm like, wait a minute.
You into Harry Potter? Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Don't get me started on Harry Potter pickup lines. Like, that's my jam.
So somebody got you with a Harry Potter pickup line before?
I got somebody with a
What
Harry
was
Potter
it?
pickup line.
Please share.
I have a few. So, one of my favorites is, on a scale of 1 to Colin Creevy, how into Harry Potter are you? Did y'all read Harry Potter?
I watched the movies.
You watched the movies.
You know.
Okay, so Colin Creevy was the boy who was obsessed with Harry Potter. And 9 times out of 10, they'll say Colin Creevy, or they'll say like Ron Hermione. I had one guy say he was Dobby, and I'm like, that's it. We going on a date. Me and you get it. Or he'll say 9 3/4, since like that's the platform where they got picked up. You know, stuff like that. But the guy who said Dobby, I was like, sir, that's it. Tacos and whiskey, me and you. So, I mean, online dating is fun. But I mean, I feel like it's for certain people.
Right.
Swiper fatigue is real. And when seeing that you've run out of matches, that's disheartening, because then you feel like you're too picky. But speaking of pickup lines, I mean, y'all know my embarrassing Harry Potter one. And
Well, I had a gas station.
you'll kick it.
I always meet people at like a gas station for some reason. It's just, I don't know. That's the pick up Tavaria place. And I had one guy tell me, "Oh, you're using the cash card. Well, I have cash you can use if you come home with me." I was like, "Oh,
that's not a pickup.
That's coming on strong."
Right.
Wow.
He thought you were working. That's not a pickup.
Try to see
working.
your hours. Like, you know, what time you get off? Trying to catch you before you close.
Right.
So, what's the pickup line that you've used to get somebody?
Can I have some of your juice?
Stop.
I mean, hey, that's all I had at the time. It was
6 years
Thanksgiving.
old. Were you 6 when you said it?
It was Thanksgiving, and I mean, that's all I had at the time. I mean, I was home with the peoples, whatever, barbecuing.
Wait, she was at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, next door neighbor. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was about to say.
Next door
That's
neighbor.
not like family member.
You know what I'm saying? And,
This Texas, we
she
don't do
came
that.
outside. She just happened to have a little thing. See, me, I'm not really, you know, it's like I'm shy, but then again, I'm not shy. You know, I just never really, been the one just walk up on somebody and be like, "Hey, what's up, baby?" You know, I mean, you see too many dudes get turned down. Because we're not really just living in a time where women just really just accept dudes just for as is.
Right.
I mean, let's be real about it. Y'all sit there and say that y'all want the real, but then if somebody was to come up to you, but hey, I got a bicycle. This my mama car and everything else. What you gonna turn that down? Versus
I know
somebody,
I won't settle. That's what I won't.
I mean, hey, you ain't gotta settle. That's nothing. But just somebody that's actually just being real. I mean, this is not. Then it's not even a such thing. Real, of y'all accepting gentlemen these days. I mean, just like
we can come.
I
back
disagree.
To that. I disagree.
We can come-
Yeah.
no, we gotta come back to
I
that.
mean, because I feel like gentlemen They exist, but they're
Gentlemen will
not
always
as-
be in style.
Yeah, they're always going to be.
Always going to be in style, but don't necessarily mean they're accepted like like they once was.
Well, I can't speak for everybody else, but they accepted in my book.
Okay.
Well, good.
All day. And
All right, come on.
tomorrow.
Come on. Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know.
You have a pickup line?
No, I don't. I
Not
don't know.
one.
Not one.
How do you reach out to people on Jack?
It's just like a
Hey, baby, what's your name?
no.
Ghost
Like
girl.
a,
It's your
hello, how you
birthday.
doing type of thing. But like in person, it's the worst. Like my friend tried, and I'm at 27 years old. I probably need to do better with my life. I should want more. But my friend tried to introduce me to somebody outside the club one day, and I was like, dude.
Hey,
So embarrassing. And the guy was like, "Are you mad at me? I don't even know you to be mad at you. It's the worst."
So, yeah, that is.
that's why I sing. So I mean, I just
I've actually sent people. So I went to a friend's going away happy hour for work, and this cute guy walked in. We went to this bar, and there was this really cute guy who walked in, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's real cute." Now, mind you, I'm the speck of pepper in the salt shaker. And everybody, I mean, I was also the youngest one. But this was recently, so I was still like 28, 29. So I sent my finance manager over to the guy. I wrote my name. Well, I gave him my card. I wrote my cell phone number on the back of the card, and I was like, "Hey, you cute. Text me sometime." So I had my finance manager give the guy my business card.
okay.
The guy texted me at that time. So we had a full conversation via text message for like 20 minutes before he was like, "Why don't you get up and come over here?" So I did. And my entire work crew was like, "Hey!" And I'm like, "Yo." So I feel like that's the extent of my game. Like, I'll send somebody else to say, "Ooh, go tell him I'm cute," or "Go tell him I think he's cute."
I
Are you
wish
sure
I could
about
do
that?
That's the
You think I'm better than
I feel like you are very forward.
You think so?
I know so.
How? Examples.
Hey, I think you're cute. Hey, would you like to dance? Hey, would you like a drink? Like, you're very
Oh,
forward.
yeah. But usually when I'm like, drinking is usually networking, though. I don't just like, I think so. I do ask guys if they want to dance, though. I will do that. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm a
think
few
she's
whiskeys
forward.
in.
I wish I could do the business card thing,
You
and then it wouldn't work though.
clutch. Yeah, I think it
Because
would.
it has like Houston Health Department, Bureau of STD, Sharpstown Clinic.
Oh, no, it won't
wouldn't work.
Like I'm clean. I mean, I can give you my most recent test. I got it right
It
here.
would just be so. Yeah, my life doesn't sit me up for people.
So moving past the meeting people. You go on a first date. What's expected? Who pays?
I mean, in my situation, I mean, and there, I'm sure it's like y'all will agree, the man, or the masculine, or whatever you know what I mean. I mean, it don't always, don't get me wrong, it don't have to always be, just, the way I was just brought up as far as how a gentleman's supposed to treat a lady, or, pretty much, you pay for this and that and whatever. And I mean, that shows, that, hey, you can stand up, be a man, take charge, I mean, don't woman want somebody that they got to always front the bill.
Agree.
To an extent, I agree. Since I do a lot of online dating, my first dates aren't always your traditional date. Like, I'm very big on, let's go to a coffee shop, or let's go meet up at a bookstore, or let's go meet up at a bar somewhere. So it's not a full,
It's like a social type of thing.
right.
You
So fill it out.
get to
And
know
I
somebody.
love coffee because it can go as fast or as slow as you want it to go. I can get refills, or I can finish this.
And all that caffeine,
and-
yeah. Mhm.
That too.
Yeah.
Or tea or whatever like that. Once we make it past that, I mean, I don't mind going 50-50. I was raised not to go out unless I could pay for myself, period. Because I have been in that awkward situation where I thought he was going to pay. And he was like, "So you had what again?" And that was no. And that was my face was like, I had the burger and fries and the Dr. Pepper, but free refills. So like,
I would have got up and walked away.
but I mean, I had enough to cover me. But it was after that. It was like, look, I'll at least reach. And if he's like, "No, I got it," okay, cool.
You'll reach.
I'll reach.
I'm the total opposite. I'm traditional. Like, you
Open my door.
open my door, pull out my chair. You're paying. I'll order, but you're paying. I'm really big on tradition.
What about you?
It's whoever. Like if I ask, I'll pay. If you ask,
Come
you pay. But I had somebody that asked, and I still had to pay.
Oh,
Really?
And then when we got to the counter, the second part of it, you asked, could you use a coupon?
Oh.
And the girl was looking at me like,
Stop.
wow.
Oh,
Stop.
kind of played you a little bit. Huh? Just,
So
Not a
you
coupon
didn't
on
go out
first
again
date.
after
No,
that?
never.
Well, I don't mind couponing on first date. Like, be smart about your money.
You're gonna be
That's
somebody's
fine.
wife one day. You really are.
take a subway in a minute.
To be somebody's wife one day. No, I don't mind. I mean, you want to use a Groupon? That's fine. We can do.
a
You
Groupon is different. A coupon is different.
You
A
think so?
Groupon is usually a fun activity, but if this is something that's already like $30 for two people, you shouldn't be using a coupon.
So you're not gonna do a 2 for Tuesday
No.
at
No.
Chili's?
No.
Well, you know what? No, because my friend, and I think that he's about to propose to her because he took her to Chili's and she did not have to order anything on the 2 for $20. She could order anything outside.
Oh, he about to
of it.
propose. He
And
love
usually
her.
when I go, I have to order something 2 for $20.
He
Y'all
look
talking
at
about Chili's?
He look at it,
Yes.
love her. She ain't have to
Really
order
like
anything
her.
on the 2 for 20.
She could order anything she wanted.
She
outside
gets
of 2 for
steak
$20.
and shrimp,
Well, maybe one day.
surf and
a
surf.
Patron margarita.
And she
Okay,
may
man.
be able to do
Grande.
2 for $35.
Okay.
Oh,
And this the first date?
No,
No.
they together. You know, you get
Oh,
real
together.
comfortable. Like,
Oh,
you about to order this 2 for $20.
That's that
And
comfort.
he's still saying, nah, you can order whatever you want.
that's love.
That's real low. Since we're talking about ordering, no, seriously, what do you order on the first date? Me, I'm all about tradition. I order me a salad. I might get chicken,
I roll.
and I get water. You can roll your eyes all you want to, but I can't. It's like I'm a layer. I'm an onion. You can't I can't give you all of me at one time. You got to pull back layers. So literally, my boyfriend was like, "That's all you getting?" Well, my now boyfriend is like, "Yeah, brother, that's all I'm getting." He was like, "Don't try to eat no chicken in the car." Like, no, I'm not. This is all I'm getting. And you know, I didn't even finish the salad. I took some to go because I feel like that's what a lady
You
is
can't
supposed
take
to do.
salad to go.
I did.
It does not stay.
I did because I had my dress on the side.
On the side.
That's what you do.
But what do you order now when y'all go out?
Oh no, we're comfortable, so order whatever.
2 for 35.
No, man, we don't go to Chili's. Next.
Shout out to Chili's. There's nothing wrong with Chili's. I just want to let y'all know. I love Chili's.
I love it solo, but we
The
don't
honey
eat Chili's
chipotle
together.
chicken
Better
tenders
not,
all day.
better not eat off my plate. Not that much.
I get real food when I go out because, like I said, I make sure that I have enough to cover.
Do you mean like
myself.
appetizer, drink, dessert?
By the time we get to that second date, because we've already felt each other out, yeah, I mean, I'll order appetizers and drink.
Damn, that's the 6th date for me.
6
I will
days
not-
for appetizers.
I won't do an appetizer or drink. No,
Girl,
ma'am.
please. Appetizer, drink, dessert. Might
No.
get a second drink.
I'd
ma'am.
rather you show me who you are right now.
Exactly.
And don't surprise me later on because might have some problems.
Right. He
Don't
think
be
you a
surprised.
$20 date, and then you get to date 3, and you like, well, can I get that second dessert? And
No, I set it up to where you know what type of person I am, and you know.
but
we'll
in
get
the
to
same
point where you
time,
see
though,
me.
on a first, we talking about first date still,
date,
right?
yeah.
I mean, shoot, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna eat.
Me too.
I mean,
I'm
you
gonna
can
eat.
eat,
And
but
if
I'm
you
not.
sitting up there looking like you about to pass out because you chose not to get what you want,
No, you eat before
Then-
you go. Okay.
Oh no! Don't let this be a dinner after work either. Cause I'm hungry.
wait, yeah.
I'm hungry by 5:30.
No,
I'm
no.
Yeah, it'd be kind of rude to just be the only one at the table eating while the other person just looking at you when you drinking
you
water.
Eat, but you don't eat like you don't get an appetizer and a drink and all this kind of stuff. And he looking like, oh my god.
well, like I said, mine. That's officially the second date for me. So we've had that whole awkward first date thing out of the way with the coffee meetup. So by then we are comfortable enough with each other
Oh, so-
that we can do that.
So y'all basically just letting them see the representative first, pretty much.
I mean, look, this is what you get.
you're an onion.
I'm gonna get my Southwest egg rolls, my honey chipotle chicken tenders.
Okay.
This is what's happening.
I like doing my first dates at places like Too Sweet. So you get the coffee shop vibe, so you can rush it if you're not really into it because you know it's people waiting to take your
Right.
table. But then it's like, oh, I don't care if they're waiting to take my table if I really like you.
Right.
But it's always a way out because I always see somebody that I know in there. It's like, well, I kind of have a meeting with them after this.
Like, hey!
And my pastor's always there.
Ooh, Lord.
So he's always a good way out when it's
and
a
then you
bad
gotta
date.
you gotta introduce people. 'Cause you know,
I think it's different in my situation because like when it comes down to first dates, a lot I have to like kind of talk to a person, kind of see what they bring, what they mind at, see how this gonna work out exactly because I'm all about the I'm like Yeah, I'm cool with the traditional dating, going out, movies, and all that stuff. But you know, me, I'm good for a good conversation. Like I need to know exactly. I mean, you might be fine, but that don't necessarily mean you got anything in your head.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
yeah, I choose brains over beauty
Understand.
any day. But the beauty also got to come with the brains. So, you know,
You mentioned something about being having layers and getting comfortable enough, like 6 days. So stages of dating. I feel like things have changed now. Like you're no longer just courting someone. You're at the point now where like you can talk, you can date exclusively, you can be engaged, you can be married. Like I feel like it's so many stages and so many layers to dating now.
Right.
Like there's a guy that I'm talking to now. I don't know if I should say this, but it's I would like it to progress further than it is, but it hasn't. So I feel like we're stuck in a stalemate because there are so many different levels to dating. Do y'all get that vibe as well, or what?
I think those levels kind of based off the different levels of the individuals.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, because you got to keep in mind, you got two different people that's, you know, from two different worlds, two different mindsets. They see the world totally different from each other. So when trying to bring two people together, you know, it takes compromising. You know, it's like a give and take type of thing. And it's like, you know, it might be something about me that might rub you the wrong way. The more that we progress in this, and it might be some things about you that I just don't really just cut for. But then that's where acceptance come into play, understanding.
Right.
You know, and I don't think people actually, you know, take the time out to really just try to get to really understand an individual. And, you know, in order to know exactly, you know, actually know your role and know how to actually operate in this particular thing. You know, I mean, it really takes maturity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody can't be honest with you. I feel like if you ain't got yourself together as an individual, then you ain't gonna your levels is gonna you ain't gonna go too far when it come down to trying to connect with somebody else.
Right.
What about you?
I think it's kind of difficult for me sometimes because you're always having to challenge like heteronormativity and what they look like. So a lot of times people always want to fall into the who's the boy, who's the girl type of thing. But at the end of the day, we both men, you know?
Right.
So you have to have, for me, you have to have more of an open mindset and go into it, an open mindset that this can be whatever we want it to be because we are now in a position where you can define what this looks like.
Right.
So
You know,
to me,
that's a good
everything's-
point. That's a good point. We can, we define it at the end of the day because not everybody's goal is marriage, right? Right. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So like you have your situations where you're like Khloe Kardashian with Lamar Odom. They were together. I mean, they burned out. But when they got together, it was hot fire. They were together, 30-something days. They got
Honeymoon
married.
phase.
Honeymoon phase.
Right.
But it lasted for a few years. They were married for a few years, and they were happy that we knew of. They were happy for a few years. And then you have your situations like Lala Anthony, who,
Engaged for
what,
8
8
years.
years? You had your situation like Jennifer Hudson, engaged for
10 years.
a decade. And then you have like your Rita Wilson and Tom Hanks, who've been together forever.
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Right.
Right.
Forever. So you can define yourself.
All right, you said that Jennifer Hudson, she was engaged for all those years.
She
right?
was. Well, and Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson aren't married, if I'm not mistaken. They're just together.
Oprah and Stedman.
They're
not married at
20
all.
plus years not married.
Yeah, but you got money involved in
for
that,
like
though.
30 years before they got married.
Really?
They were together for a long time.
Was it for like insurance
Everybody thought they
purposes,
were
or-
married. I don't know. It took them so long. We all thought they were married, and then they sent us invitations. It was like, wait, y'all not married?
They gonna do me right. They didn't want to shack up no more. What about you? What do you think, like, the stages of dating now, or
For
stages
me, it
of
all
like
starts with
relationship?
communication. Like, I'm big on communication. Prior to a first date, it's 2 weeks of communication, if not longer.
Ooh.
I mean, you got to know who you know. Nowadays, you just can't step in a coffee shop with somebody. Next thing you know, they stalking you. So it's communication and seeing where their head is.
And a FaceTime call to see where their face is,
exactly,
too.
exactly. And
Come on.
then you move on to first dates and second dates and whatever. But communication is big to me.
That makes sense. So we actually had a listener question that kind of ties in with this. JoJo from Instagram asked, are millennials still dating to marry or just to have companionship? What are our personal... so let's answer that one first. Do you think millennials are dating, like our age group, are we dating for marriage or are we dating just for companionship?
I'm going to say both.
Both? Okay.
In the world we live in today, everything is on social media. So I think they're seeing marriage proposals and the engagement. They want to make the shade room with the engagement proposals. So they're doing it just to do it, just because it's popular right now. And then again, you actually do want to find your soulmate. You do want to settle down. You do want to have a family. So I think it's both ways. You want those
vacations. At least I do.
Well, I mean,
go.
Hey, hey, this is just me. I feel like that, in these days, people, they want the benefits, but don't necessarily want the titles.
Right.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
Like, I want you to treat me as if I'm your husband, or treat me like I'm wifey or bae or whatever, but at the same time, I don't want to be, I don't need you tying me down.
Right.
Type of thing,
I totally agree with that.
And I'm coming from a real place because I've been married before. So it never really, in that situation, it was just really, I guess, more so trying to live up to everybody else's expectations and stuff. I grew up in a Christian home with a Christian environment where they like, all right, it's better to marry than to burn and whatever. But ain't nobody just took the time to educate me and teach me that, hey, well, there's levels to this thing. Mm-hmm. So I stepped off and just thinking that, I'm doing the right thing, whatever. Now understanding that, hey, I needed to kind of get me together first before adding her into the equation, because it was a fight at my reception.
Well,
so right there, I was like, "Damn!" That
should have been a sign.
Yeah, signs. Yeah.
So speaking of lack of not education, but lack of just like guidance, do you think that that's why the marriage failure rate is so high? Because people get the glamorized view of, the dinner has to be made by the time he comes home. You got 2.5 kids. He's the breadwinner. She's staying at home, blah, 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 blah. That traditional look view. And then people are saying, no, marriage is work. It's not always like that. Sometimes dad's at home with the kids. Not every marriage produces children. Like not every married person wants to have kids. And not going in and having that communication of saying, hey, so here's the deal. I don't want to have bio kids. I want to adopt kids. Or, hey, I never thought about having kids. Hey, I don't want to live in the South. You know what? I really don't want to live in the city. I prefer to have 20 acres and whatever. Right. And having those major differences being the reason why so many marriages fail. Like they hit that 5-7 year slump and they fail.
5 years.
Or,
nowadays it's like
5 years.
Well,
let me tell you, I was officially divorced on my third year.
Dang.
So you looking at 1 year
of going through the divorce.
No. What you talking about after the marriage? You would say, say a couple months of that honeymoon phase, but then keep in mind it was a fight. The fight broke out at the reception. So, me, I can kind of just, look over stuff and just kind of, ain't got nothing to do with me because, and this is what I told my ex-wife at the time, that pretty much prepare for the marriage, not the wedding.
Okay.
And I think that's, like, just like what you said before, people, they fall in love with the ideal of it as far as the image and everything, but not really preparing themselves for what really actually comes with it. You know what I mean? Your wants is no longer just yours from that point. You can't just make decisions just based off what you want, because you have to include your mate in it. So it just like, and that's where the clash come in. And because of, especially if you grow up in a home to where mom and daddy, they divorced, and
Right.
and it's just like a generational thing. That's all you see. So you don't really know how to maintain when it comes down to a marriage. Yeah, so it's safe to just be with somebody and not include the whole
Process.
whole
Right.
process of marriage. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like that's where a lot in this time, to where folks looking at, because they seeing the divorce rates and they seeing how relationships they're not tight.
Right.
Like great grandma and them. Pretty much, they like, all right, well then, what's the point of me stepping off into this thing of this marriage if it's a possibility
That it could fail.
that it could fail?
Right. Right. What about you?
It's not until recently that I've really seen like healthy examples of what marriage might look like for me, But then again, I think the marriage rate, I wouldn't necessarily say it's marriages aren't failing. People are actually like choosing their happiness, right? Because we always think that our grandma and our grandpa and them had it together,
Right.
but they were taught to just stick it out and stay
Right.
together. And some people have died miserable and fell out of love a long time ago. So I think people are starting to make, especially women, are starting to make independent choices for themselves. And and you see a lot of women saying, "I don't need no man. I can do this. I can do life by myself."
Right.
So I wouldn't say marriages are failing, but we are, as a generation, we're revisiting what it might look like.
I like that. I think so my dad is actually on his third marriage, and I think that my parents splitting up was probably one of the healthiest things that they could have done.
Right.
They loved each other, they loved us. It just wasn't working. And I'm happy that they didn't stick it out for us, so we were able to see what happiness looked like. And now, my dad's second wife, absolutely love her. My current stepmom, my dad's third wife, absolutely love her, have the best relationship with her. But we're able to see what a healthy marriage and happy people look like. One of the things you actually said on Facebook, as far as breakups go, it rung true to me, and I had to screenshot this. You want to say it because it sounds better in your voice. Okay, so you said, get you some bottled water, light you some candles, put your do-rag on or your headscarf on.
Or your bonnet.
Play Lemonade on repeat. Don't stress over these people. Meditate on your goals and mind your business. Now, what did you mean by that? Because I took it as, you know what? I'm washing my hands of these people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because because my last breakup, it was just like, I learned that I need to make healthy choices. Like, I like you, but I need to love myself more or whatever.
Come on.
And my motto for 2018 is the only thing allowed to give me a headache this year is my do-rag.
Come
so
on.
So it's kind of like, I don't really want to, if you're not adding to the value of my life and we're not really gaining and learning from each other, because oftentimes we'll find ourselves in relationships where we're constantly pouring into people.
Right.
And then I'm
draining in the process.
Yeah.
And I'm
Draining.
empty. And the type of person that I am and the things that I do professionally and, on the side for my community, I come home empty. So I can't always be in a mind space where I'm, being this activist advocate outside of home and then I come home and I have to fight with you too.
Right.
And so it was just coming from a whole place of this year I'm choosing things that's really just gonna make me happy. I'm just gonna vibrate higher.
Choosing you.
Exactly. I'm
choosing
y'all
you.
where y'all at. I'm trying to be Oprah.
Come on.
I'm in a revelation state where, they say everybody got an uncle named Peaches. I'm realizing that I'm going to be the
Come
Uncle
on,
Peaches.
Peaches.
Unfortunately.
That's not a bad thing.
Everybody
Everybody love Uncle Peaches.
I'm just in a real realization state. I'm becoming an adult. I feel like I'm a late bloomer, but,
No, that's right. That's right. I will be 30 this year, and it wasn't until I was, 26, 27, and I was like, you know what? I don't need societal norms. I'm happy being me.
Yeah.
I don't need to be married at 23 with kids at 25. It took me about to 27, 28 that I was like, I don't need this. I'm gonna do me.
Right.
Y'all do you. We gonna flourish together. But that actually ties into what you said. Kind of ties into another one of her questions. She said, do you feel that if you don't have society's standard of beauty, it's hard to date.
Oh,
So like as far as like I'm gonna do me, you do you, me not being married at 23, I used to kind of relate that to, well, I don't look like
Right.
so and so, and I don't look like this. Well, that's why nobody's wifed me up or whatever like that. What do you think?
I do, because we have this whole no fats, no femmes thing.
I hate that.
And it's the worst. Like, you know, you have to fit like this particular look to be highly desired, and it makes it really hard for like men of size, and you know, it's the absolute worst.
I think I went through something like that. Not a couple of years ago. I was in a relationship, and I didn't understand why the breakup happened at first, and I blamed, was I this size or this size, and then he got a new girlfriend and she was small, not the best person in the world, but no shade, but I had to understand that it wasn't me,
Right.
you know, it was this other person,
Right.
like we had issues, don't get me wrong, but I understand that my standard of beauty was worldwide. It
Right.
worked for more people than that person,
Right.
and maybe it wasn't the beauty issues that he broke up with me, but, you know, to me, I thought it was. So.
And then you mentioned something earlier about you wanted to have brains and beauty. You wanted to have more brains than beauty, but you wanted to have beauty too.
I'm speaking from a real place. I've been on both sides of the fence.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm divorced. I got 2 kids, child support.
Come on, life
That's
story.
real.
I mean, this is some real stuff. So, like, when I speak on, especially dealing with relationships, like, I have a lot of friends call themselves want to get married and stuff. Man, you still wet behind the ears. You don't know, man. You think you in love right now. You know, I mean, what my mom always taught me was the fact that you want a relationship that's able to stand the test of time.
Right.
You know, to stand the test of time. So it kind of falls into it. You know, I'm like, I mean, when you're talking about as far as, I guess, beauty and everything, I mean, yeah.
It fades though.
It
only runs so deep.
It sure does.
see that, but it fades once you actually start seeing the flaws of the other individual.
Oh.
That's when it starts fading. Like just think about it. The person that you admire the most, you know, when you first met the individual, they like the apple of your eye, right? But it wasn't until as time started going on, that's why I say trying to stand the test of time,
Right.
that you start seeing they're ugly. You know, there's the good, there's the bad, and there's the sexy, but then there's the ugly, and from there, once you see that ugly, the image that you had of them shrinks down to just this little thing, like just one. And from there, it is like, but once upon a time, things that y'all used to, laugh about or whatever, it's just not that funny anymore.
Right.
Come
on, 80s R&B song.
I'm just,
you watching TV till TV go off.
Hey, I'm just saying. I mean, because that's just how it is. I mean, like in my situation, I mean, I ain't gonna sit and say that I made the best choices when it comes to relationships, because I'm still trying to get it together.
Yeah.
I'm matter of fact, I'm trying to step out the whole trying and actually doing.
Okay.
If you gonna step off into it, then hey, go hard or go, or just leave it alone.
Give it your all.
That's right.
You know.
Speaking of stepping off into it, settling down. How do you know when you're ready? Like for us, I know women. A lot of people say, "Well, it's your biological clock will tell you that you're ready to settle down." With me, since I don't want bio kids, I want to adopt. I have forever and a day. But what about you guys? Like, how do you know when you're ready to stop beating around the bush and
stop putting your play card in?
You're never ready.
You're never ready?
I've started to yawn in the club.
You really?
Yeah, I just be like, all right, time to go. As soon as I get there, and I'm a very social person, so I was like, something don't feel right no more. I don't know what this means.
You're gonna get to the point where you don't even want to go to the clubs anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm the type of person. I was telling the guy this recently. He was like, "So where do you go out?" And I was like, "So I go to like a hole in the walls where I can go in like a pair of joggers or like sweatpants and flip flops or whatever like that." He was like, "Oh, you don't get dolled up?" No, like I'm not. Well, I'm not gonna get dolled up to go somewhere and drink whiskey for a little while. Like that's not happening. He's like, "Oh, well, you're so young." I'm past the bull though. Like I'm past
that is totally
all that
me.
bull.
I'm like, hey, you want to go out? Do you know the Rockets come on today? Sit and drink our Tennessee honey here and watch the Rockets.
Right.
And then I don't believe in paying cover charge. Where were we at? Were we in Atlanta for my birthday when they were like, "Oh, you can go here. Women only pay I think $20 or something like that. Women only pay.
No,
I got breasts. I don't pay to get in anyway.
So y'all ain't got Wi-Fi here?
Right.
No, I'm definitely. I understand the Netflix and chill now. Like,
Yeah.
I fully understand that.
Yeah, I get that.
Man.
So, do you think that that'll change? Like, do you think that you'll ever get to the point where, for those of us who are single now, or for those of us who aren't exclusively dating now, do you think we'll, I guess, pick up a second wind and decide that we want to go back out like that? Or you think you're pretty cool in your...
No, I do. I think about it all the time. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm like, man, I sure do miss doing this. Or sure do miss doing that. But I actually don't fall through on it because I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm happy being young gold. I'm happy being, like, give me my robe any day and my house shoes and a good SVU marathon.
I think my second win would probably be doing stuff at the house,
Yes.
like card games and real old drunk auntie type of stuff.
Yeah.
right. I'm the old drunk.
Slamming dominoes. You better not renege.
That's one.
I just learned there's a new way to play Uno.
Bye, Jasmine. Uno's gonna forever be the way we were taught. Leave it alone. Don't bring
Nobody
it
plays
up.
by the rules.
Listen.
I'm
next
Claude.
game night.
I'm looking for Bonnie.
So, I wanted to kind of wrap up this episode with like a dating affirmation. Whether it's for the season of your dating life or whether it's for like your dating life for a whole. Do any of you guys have a dating affirmation?
I do. I was on the internet just browsing, and I came across one from the Huffington Post, and it says, or it reads, "Enjoy the process. Even when it isn't all that you might like it to be, the more you are out there, the greater comfort and ease you'll feel on the next date."
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That way you're not like rushing to get married. You're enjoying
Not
the
rushing,
process.
right.
Come on. Anybody else?
Well, I look at it like this. Pretty much enjoy the now.
Okay.
I mean, treat each day as if it's the first day you met that individual. I mean, if that's something that you really want, then you pretty much you have to hold on to whatever it was that brought y'all together in the first place.
Okay.
And that's what's missing. There's not enough love in the world, So I feel like people, everybody got flaws. Once you have to have that understanding as far as you and whoever, and when you start seeing the ugly, then hey, you be like, okay, cool. I have to be patient with you just as well as you have to be patient with me.
Right.
Law of attraction at the end of the day, So
What about you?
I would probably say date somebody you don't mind sharing your food with.
Yes. That's a message.
I'm real selfish, especially with my Raising Cane's and my tacos.
Ooh, come on, Kane.
So if I say you want some of my
you get
tacos,
a caniac or you get
I get
a box.
But
and you
gotta
better
eat
not
the
touch my
sauce.
gummy worms.
Yes.
So if I say you want some of my tacos, I really like you.
Oh,
So you
that's
should date
love.
you really, because nobody likes sharing their food.
Okay. I don't blame you.
I like sharing.
I don't like sharing at all. And if you get a box and you willing to share that,
Yeah,
that's
it's only 4.
Because it's only 4. That caniac is 6, but the box is only 4 unless they
4.
like you and they give you a 5th one. I know the Raising Cane's way too much, y'all. I guess mine would be. I had it. I guess mine would be with who you don't mind waking up to and smelling the morning breath.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been told that
That's your breath stink?
you tried it. You tried it. I've been told that if you truly love somebody, you won't mind their morning breath.
If you
Now,
truly
whether-
love somebody you won't mind their morning
That you won't mind their morning breath.
restroom.
Oh, that's real love.
Love, you in love.
Yeah. Or just be with somebody who snores you don't mind. Like, it's the stuff like that. Stuff that normally aggravates you. Like me, I cannot. Don't. I know that I truly with my mate if I don't mind them cuddling with me for longer than 10 minutes because I get hot and you got to move.
Yeah.
So.
Got that fan that hit you right directly on you.
I was like, starting now, you got 10 minutes. But no, once I get to that point where I can be with someone who I won't be watching the clock when we're cuddling, I think I know it's real. But yeah. So did y'all have anything else you wanted to add? Do you have anything else you wanted to plug before this episode is over? I know you're starting a podcast soon.
I am. I'm trying. I'm working on it. It'll probably be a little more ratchet than this. This is very classic. This is the classiest podcast I've ever been on.
We're trying to do our best. We're trying to do our best.
But no, yeah, this is about it. Just the podcast, all the other stuff.
Get tested, y'all. Please get tested.
Come see
Know
me.
your status.
Know your status.
Come see me. The brunch is coming up again.
Come on.
All that good stuff.
What about you, Otis?
Y'all can see me around
Here you
at
go.
your prospect parks, performing on stages. I'm working on my second project,
Okay.
O-rated.
Okay.
It's pretty much, life, from my, of course, from my perspective, of, based off things that I've been through leading up to this point. You can actually buy my first project, One Man Band, on every download, major download and whatever, iTunes, CD Babies, all that good stuff.
Go ahead, Otis.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to thank both of y'all for coming out. Thank you for taking the time out of your evenings and coming out and joining us. And we wanted to wrap up the show. So thank you guys so much for listening.
Bye.
And make sure you tune in next week. Bye.
Bye.